The jury in Lindsay Clancy's murder trial is excused for the day. The Massachusetts mother admits to killing her 3 children in their home, but the defense says she's not criminally responsible because she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. Prosecutors say the act was planned and deliberate. Now, crowds of supporters have gathered outside the courthouse. And before excusing the jury, the court heard from a chaplain who spoke with Clancy in the hospital. I want to bring in our Peter Haralambous and ABC News contributor, criminal defense attorney Shauna Lloyd, for more on this trial. Peter, how critical is this chaplain's testimony, especially this moment where she told Clancy, "I'm so glad my children are safe"?
Yeah, Diane, this is really testimony that's at the center of the case. They heard about this, secondhand from that psychologist earlier this week. But this is really firsthand testimony. This is Sheila Kavanaugh. She's a chaplain who worked at the hospital where Lindsay Clancy was treated immediately after the killings. And she described these 14 meetings she had with Clancy where they described hearing this voice in her head telling her to kill her children. She added during that first conversation about a week after the killings that Clancy said she was glad her children were safe. Take a listen to that testimony.
Her emotional state was very neutral, a flat affect. But I remember vividly the first thing she said to me. Now, she had heard me for a couple of days. We had been praying together. And so when I went in on Tuesday the 31st, she said to me as I held her hand to comfort her, "I am so glad my children are safe."
Now, defense lawyers are saying that this really gets to the heart of their case, that this was postpartum psychosis. Prosecutors, however, tried to push back on this testimony by asking Kavanaugh why she never actually mentioned these voices in her notes. She pushed back on that criticism, saying that it wasn't her job to write down these meetings verbatim, that as chaplain, her job was really just to bear witness to Clancy's suffering.
Shauna, the chaplain said Lindsay referred to hearing a voice multiple times over 14 meetings. How's the prosecution going to counter that?
The prosecution is going to counter that by attempting to say that this was something that she contrived. She thought about it, and this was part of what they are alleging is her act after the fact to say that this is what was occurring and that she was hearing these voices, and that is the real reason that she did it. So you're going to see them attack the timing on this. You're going to see them attack her and the fact that she never notated it or it wasn't anywhere else in her notes. So that's what you're going to see them focus on to attempt to discredit this as something that Lindsay crafted as opposed to actual true uttered statements at the time.
Shauna, there are also supporters gathered outside the courtroom. How do you expect the judge to limit the potential influence on a jury here? Because something like that is not supposed to influence the jury, but the juries are human beings, of course.
Absolutely, Diane. The jury is going to see and be aware. So the judge is going to try to limit that. Typically, you're going to see judges have different exits. They will allow them to exit the actual courthouse in a separate area where they're not forced to have to go through the protesters. Courts really do try to protect jurors to the best of their ability and with whatever resources they have. So providing alternate routes, elevators, ensuring that the jury does not have to interact with them as much as possible is really what the court is going to seek to do.
All right, Peter Haralambous, Shauna Lloyd, thank you both.